Hey guys, it's your girl Wandika, originally from Jamaica. So this one, as you know, this is what I started with for November. I had to take out some of the pages and sew it back in because it was getting bulky because it's a small book. And so I realized that I wouldn't be able to do very much more in this book. So, and I was saying, should I have to like start over? And I actually scanned it and was going to redo it in a traveler's book, but I was like, no, that's too much work. I can't. I did that already for the first few pages. I can't do that again. And so I kept this as volume 1 for November. Right? Put this on here. You know, I just wanted a little dangle thing. Washi that I can travel with, because you guys see my drawer of washi tape, and I always like say, you know, it gets bulky because I carry around this with pens, some watercolors, scissors and stuff, and so putting washi tape is like, it's too bulky. This insert I just like glued down some fabric strips with some fabric glue and crazy glue and a crazy glue down. This Tim Holtz label, and this is going to be my daily journal. So, and I put down some fabric, and you know my style journaling. This one I thought, you know, because I haven't been doing the gratitude journal thing that I wanted to do in my planner. So instead of putting like a little blurb about what I'm grateful for in my planner, because now it's going to be small, I said I would just do that in one book. And I won't have to do it for November since I haven't been doing it since the start of the year. I just use it as keeping track of how many I've done. So I'm just going to do 30, and however long it takes me, I'll do it here. Now this is going to be my planner. I got this image from the Iman photo book that I told you guys a couple months ago, and I put down this calendar because, as you know, every time I have a new volume, as you've seen with my bigger planners, I like to have another monthly layout, because I won't have this with me, you know. And then I'm going to also, as I said, I'm also going to try to incorporate a lot more drawing in this. And this was also the Iman picture from the other side of that. The other side of this picture was this. And I put down some washi tape, and then I just put, you know, clear tape on it to preserve it. I was thinking of using Mod Podge, but I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. And then here I have some more washi tape, because I find that if I have a little washi tape and a little time, I can do a lot. So I'm going to put, I have some scraps and stuff that I would put in here as well, but this is good to go. And then this one, I have been using the inserts in here more. As you know, I have the cloth pouch, and you saw me make these before, and the only thing is that I just put some this tag on there. This one says embrace. Let's see if you can see. Embrace imperfection. And I've been using this as a art journal, and I wanted to, as I said, I wanted to do art in my daily journaling, but I do think that it's fine to also have a separate thing where I can just be creative, and it doesn't have to be daily. It's whenever I feel like, and I won't feel so restricted that, okay, I'm going to have to do a big spread and whatever. Whenever I feel it, that's when I'm going to do it. So I did this, some scraps, painted on some like brown watercolor to make it look like coffee. stain. This was some the tea bag label, and I had this in my scrap of words sticker. This was a paper pack image. And this one I really like because I got these from different places, and as I said, I'm going to do more drawing, but this one I found this drawing on a cover of a journal. I scanned it, printed it, and just painted in, because it says, I don't know if you can see it, but it says Belle Noire, which means Black Beauty, and so I gave her nice brown hue. And then I found this in my stash of words and clips. Anyone with a knife for beauty clearly sees that black women are among the most beautiful females in the world. So I kind of painted this cutout as well to be, also have a dark skin. I don't know if you can really see that. So, and then I used these. I tested out these because this is the first time I'm using the Jane Davenport ink, what you call them, those watercolor or ink brush pens, and it's really intense. So I think I'm going to ensure that I also use a little water to dilute it as I'm doing it. This was a gift bag, and I actually went to the dollar store and saw it, and I said, am I really gonna buy a gift bag just so I can rip it up so I can put it in my journal? Yes, because I like that it had these paint splotches on there. Now this one I did some time ago. This is actually something I scanned into the computer because I had done this on a big, when I was doing these big art journal spreads, but I wanted to preserve it because it was just somewhere, I don't know where I put it, but I said I'm going to put this in here because I've reintroduced myself to art journaling. So this should come back in here and be part of that display. And I added a few more things going through. But I really like this page. I look at it and it makes me so happy. It reminded me of a time when I was really, really creative and doing a lot of different experimentation, and just, you know, I want to get back into that. It's just been very difficult, as I said, being so busy. This one is a little strange. I just kind of went with it. I was trying out a bunch of different things. Like, of course, I have collage, which was this picture I found somewhere, and then I used a stencil with some tempera. Like, I used these paints with a stencil because it's sort of solid and it dries really quickly, so I kind of like that. Stickers, you know, and as I said, I'm going to do more drawing because I'm a watercolorist. I need to get back into doing watercolor sketches that will become paintings, you know what I mean? So I hope this is going to jumpstart that. And this I've been using a lot more than anything else because this is my way of keeping track of my writing, my frustrations, motivations, and so it's become sort of like a commonplace book in a sense, because I put art and I put an article in here and everything. Now the cover was pretty much like all the others that you saw, just basic brown cover, and I saw this. It's actually the cover of a journal, and it said something theater notebook, and so I said, well, I want to keep notebook and I want to keep the image, I want to keep a journal, and I'm just going to add some other stuff around it and keep it sort of this like brown color, right? And so I tried to put these affirmations in here. Never give up, do what you love, you can write a great novel. These are all from my these are from the sticker book that I showed you guys, and this is from my collection of words. So remember I told you that when I cut out stuff, I put them in certain places. I never know exactly when I'm going to use them, but I decided to make sure to use all the writing stuff here. And I had thought of something occurred to me about one of the stories I was writing, and I wrote it on a scrap of paper. And instead of transcribing it, I just glued it in here. Because that's what I do in here anyway, is talk about my writing, here, stuff that I'm telling myself about what to do with some stories, how to complete them. And this was a little snippet of an article talking about, you know, having to please editors and stuff. But then I found this in my stash, this vellum with writing on top, and I wanted to put that in there. Found this very interesting explanation about a poem, and these are stuff that, you know, you never know where it will turn up. I might even tell a class about it one day. Some journaling about my writing, about the fact that I have been not sleeping very much. I spend a lot of time this time of the night crafting, and then I work in the day, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to find better balance, but I write about that there. Another poem, an explanation from that article. This, I'm so happy I came across, is from 2003 when I graduated with my undergrad. And you know, when they have this in the program where you pass it around and you have people sign, you know, nice things and so on. And what struck me was that many of them referred to my being a writer and that they want to see that I continue to write. And I was like, they mainly see me as a writer, you know. And I thought, let me highlight how many times people said that. Because I thought it was interesting that the main thing that my colleagues said about me was that they liked that I was so devoted to my writing and that I was a good writer. And this is good to keep in here because it motivates me to keep going, you know. So it was in one of those, I think, letter size, and it was about 3 pages, so I cut them up and decorated it, and it's just fun to look at, and I'm very moved when I look back at the things that they say. Some things are funny, you know, some things are just like motivating. And this is just a little bit of a collage of random stuff I had. Some more notes, another poem that gives a little description about it, and I like this one, and some washi tape, another strip of those words that came from the Writer's Digest, more notes about what I need to do with stories. And then I came across this article in a vintage Writer's Digest, and it talks, and a lot of what is said here is very much applicable now, you know, so things haven't really changed when it comes to what makes a good story. And so I put this in here, and you know, there are places where I highlighted what I thought was significant, you know. And I used these mostly, these vintage washi tapes in here. These don't really last long because I use them so heavily, you know, because I put them on the end of the page. And this image I had in my stash, and because it's a picture of a home and greenery, it reminded me of my home. And so I write a little bit here about, you know, home and how that has come up a lot in the work that I'm researching and in the work that I'm writing. Some time ago, I think I told you guys about this image of Iman as a young model, and she just struck me as the way that I had conceived of one of my characters. So I write a little bit about that, how it motivates me and gives me an idea of who the character is. Just by looking at her, she has so much presence, and there's something about her that makes me think about that person in my mind that I've been developing. Then I have like a list of the stories and keeping track of the ones that I've completed, because as I said, this is also part of my dissertation, so I keep track of like when I complete the draft. And we know that once a draft is complete, doesn't mean it's the end, because you have to go back and revise and so on. Some of them I indicate the ones that have been published, so I know that not much gonna do with that. I'm not gonna go back and change anything with those, but like some of them that completed and I've already given to my chair and so on to look at, I keep a track of that. And I put these here so that once I say it's complete, I'm just gonna tick so that I know how I'm going to compile them. And then just a few notes about places that I need to send work. I have a separate book for this, as you guys saw, but it's good to have it here too because it makes me remember about it. And then I wrote a little bit about today about being in the library and writing my teaching philosophy and having a difficult time of it because I'm tired and I wasn't sure how to say what I needed to say. But yeah, I'm very motivated. I love this size. I'm still loving it, so I was worried that I wouldn't want to do this size anymore because I have, as I've told you before, tried to do a smaller size like this before and it didn't work out, but I love it. I guess it's just the combination of the leather protective cover and the charm and the artsiness, because as you've seen my writing journals before, you've seen that mainly it's just writing and maybe I have a clip or a quote, but it's just writing. But here I do a lot more than I ever have, so I'm motivated, and that's great news. And this is just something I carry around with me because I find that most of the time I do my work here, and the thing is that I carry it around and I still end up coming back here to do any work. So I keep like stickers, some pattern paper and magazine images, and even some fabric, some words, you know, stuff that, and it's surprising how much stuff can hold in here, and it's much flatter than I thought it would be, so it doesn't take up much space in my bag. And here I had to jot down my to-do list because, as you guys know, at the end of this is where this is the last spread I've done for a daily planner, so I'm a bit behind with that. I think what I will do is I'll probably do it on camera to do like a plan with me. Maybe not tonight, but it would probably still be in the same video, so we'll see how that works out. And I keep these with me too. I had to go through and because I've had a bunch of these pens and not using them, so I carry them with me now and I use them more. And I keep this on my desk. I keep this on my desk where I kind of test out some pens, and I think once I'm done with it, I might actually use it as a background on one of my layouts. So I'm gonna just keep this here. So I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Walk good.